Welcome. My name is Chrissy Trammell with the Three Rivers Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with Kathy Greaves today, who is running for the St. Joseph County Commission seat. And I have given her some questions in advance that I'll review for the audience, and then I'll turn it over to Kathy. Please introduce yourself and tell us, why did you choose to run for this office? What do you hope to accomplish while in office? And what do you bring to the table that sets you apart from the other candidates? Kathy, to you.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Christy, for inviting me to participate in this candidate forum. I want to also thank the Three Rivers Chamber of Commerce for putting together this program to help us introduce ourselves, as well as have the voters get some idea of who they might be voting for. So your first question, to tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Kathy Greaves. I'm a candidate for the District 2 County Commissioner seat here in St. Joseph County. I will be representing Burr Oak, Poland, Leonidas, Park, and Mendon Townships. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in a small farming community in a place southwest of Cleveland with my older brother and two younger sisters. When I grew up, my dad wasn't able to hold down a job. And so every month my parents would look at the bills on the table and decide what had to be paid this month and what might possibly be left for the next month. My mom was a stay-at-home mom and to take care of us kids, but she also had to periodically here and there go out and get a job in order to make ends meet, so to speak. We had tough times, but you know, we had a great childhood, and my parents taught us some values that I live by today: family, truth, commitment, dependability, making a difference in our community, and being open-minded. My mom, for instance, was a softball coach for me and for my younger sisters, and she also moved herself right up to be the softball commissioner of the 3 villages where. So, you know, that just kind of gives you an idea of the childhood that we had. My brother is an electrician and his wife is a school teacher. My 2 sisters both own their own businesses. One of my sisters, unfortunately, was not able to weather this COVID situation. She's currently liquidating her business and trying to figure out how to pay those business bills, as well as support her son, has special needs. So she's kind of in a difficult situation right now, looking at what might be next in store for her. My mom is 87 today and living alone, and also having a very difficult time, as many folks who are living alone with this, with the COVID concerns, right? As well as not wanting to get out, but needing to get out because she's, you know, so caught up in her house. But she doesn't want to get sick, so she's really torn in terms of being alone, being lonely, but at the same time to get out to see the rest of the world. We had her down here for a couple of weeks, and that brought her spirits up. But you know, as many older folks, she needs her comforts, right? So she wanted to go back home. Well, we probably will have her. It's a great place to live, and you know, she gets to be outside and not necessarily worry about what's going on. I also have a 25-year-old son who was in the Peace Corps, but globally, the Peace Corps sent everybody home. So now he's here with me trying to figure out what his next steps are going to be in the future. So I put myself through college, and it wasn't easy. There was one point where I lived in a 1-bedroom house. And my only transportation was my bicycle with a bike seat on the back of my son. I'd throw him in the back off to the home daycare. We'd go, and then I'd head off to work or to school to keep moving forward. It was, you know, it was a difficult time for us, but it was also so many great memories. And it showed that we could get through those tough times, get to the other side, and both of us be better than we were before we went into that situation. So after graduation from high school, I attended Hiram College, received my bachelor's degree in psychology. Not knowing what to do next, I drove a school bus for a year. And today I have a master's degree in exercise physiology, PhD in nutrition. Over the years, I've lived in a variety of places around the US, including Arizona, Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, and we moved to Southwest Michigan about 12 years ago, and today I call Park Township my home. I work for the Kellogg Company as a nutrition scientist, and I now work from home because of the COVID situation, and my commute is from the coffee pot upstairs to my desk, then back down when I fill. I love my job. Health and well-being is very important to my quality of life, and I know to the quality of life of people in our community. So why did I take a run for this office? I've been the way, I've seen ways that communities have been run around the US. I've lived in communities that have been successful and thriving. I've lived in communities where people haven't been able to get ahead and they've been stuck in this financial hole. I believe that the local government has a role to play in helping citizens to thrive and be successful. With the budget cuts and increases in taxes and fees here in St. Joseph County over the last 4 years, I felt that I had some responsibility to step up and try to make a difference. I grew up in a farming community. I've experienced those struggles, both livelihood as well as financial. I hear the stories and hardships and successes of my family. I've lived those hardships and those successes. You know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a politician, but I am a part of this community. And I see where I can make a difference in St. Joseph County. Others may have failed, and where COVID has really taken a toll. We need to get our small businesses back up and running. You know, the people who live here in St. Joseph County, they're strong, resilient, and we persevere. So I know we can get our county back up and running, not on the backs of the community, but with grants and funding from outside community, local, federal, state, nonprofit agencies. We can do it with our strength and with looking for resources outside of our community as well. I think your next question was, what do I hope to accomplish while I'm in office? I've made 3 commitments to the citizens of St. Joseph County: to listen to you, to make our county work better for you, and to give you the services that you need and you deserve. We need to build a better economy in St. Joseph, and I look at 3 ways to do this. First, to work with my fellow county commissioners to get farmers and small businesses back up and running and in a better place than before COVID. I will also, number 2, work with my fellow county commissioners to repair the roads and bridges and dams and buildings that have not gotten the attention that they deserve. I recently found that Michigan scored a D+ on the American Society of Civil Engineers report card for roads and bridges. 9 of our bridges in St. Joseph County are rated as poor, including our loved and gem covered bridge. Typically, bridges and dams are rated by downstream hazard potential and by condition. And an example of a dam here in St. Joseph County is Portage Plant Dam, is rated high for downstream hazard potential and poor for its condition. We need to find a way to keep our dams well maintained, and our private dams, because some of these dams are owned privately, we need to have those owners held accountable for the for the condition of the dams. We don't need to have a bridge or a dam break before we decide it's a priority. And then lastly, I'll work to be sure that everyone who wants and needs broadband internet at home has it. And we've noticed with the COVID situation that we have kids who are no longer going to classes, but have to log on to the internet to get their classes, to meet with their teachers, to see their other students, their other friends, and they don't have access at home. So if you're a working parent who needs to get your kids that access, what do? Do you drop your work for the day and take them to the, can't take them to the library's closed, do you take them to the neighbors? It's just really tough for those folks who don't have broadband internet and need to hand over. And I think my last question was, what do I bring to the office that sets me apart from the rest of the candidates? To start, let's look at where we agree. And that is that we all want St. Joseph County to be a great place to live, work, and play. Now, how we get there is kind of how we disagree. Over the last 4 years, taxes and fees have increased, expenditures have been reduced through the cuts in services and programs. Property taxes right now are as high as is legally permissible. And so we need to look at how we can change that situation so that we maintain our services and programs, again, not on the backs of our citizens who are already paying as much as they can feasibly within the context of their income as well as the COVID situation. So we can't continue on this path. My plan is to grow the county, not shrink it, and certainly not continue to squeeze our townships, our county, and our state. Over the last 10 years, the population of St. Joseph County has dropped. That's only been the second time history of St. Joseph County that we've lost residents here in the county. So again, I'm looking at grants from local, state, federal, as well as nonprofit agencies in order to bring funds into the county that won't cost our residents, but at the same time will help to fund our programs and departments. I have had significant experience writing grants to fund my education as well as to fund church programs for my son. And so I've done that, I've been successful, and I can bring that to the commission. Also, over the years, I've lived in a variety of places around the US. I mentioned I lived in Arizona, in Texas, in Missouri, and also North Carolina before coming back here to Michigan. And most of the commissioners are from St. Joseph County. And what I bring is the different perspective, the outside perspective that can then bring in some new ideas that help to mix up what we already know is happening here in St. Joseph County, to sort of, bring a different perspective to potentially move us in other directions in order to, again, improve programs and departments, and at the same time try to do it without continually increasing fees and taxes. So I bring this experience to the commission so that we can figure out how to break through the system of letting roads, bridges, dams continue disrepair. Can look outside the county, don't have to continually look at cuts, look at increasing fees and taxes in order to find innovative ways for us to fund our county. There are so many other ways to do it that we don't necessarily have in our back pocket today. I think those were the 3 questions you asked.
I have 2 additional questions for you.
Okay.
With the likely cut in state revenue sharing and decreased local property tax revenue. What departments or projects do you see being cut?
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned that a little bit previously. That's a tough thing to think about. I have reviewed the 2020 budget that was made available publicly. And so I've looked at what we're funding, where the cuts have happened over the years and that kind of thing. And I'm going to go back to, at this point, can't see asking those departments and those programs to cut any more of their budget. Yes, we can be innovative in how we do the work and how we provide the services. And there are things we can learn from this COVID situation right now. What are some of the things we are doing today we didn't even think about doing before COVID showed up on the scene, right? Let's look at what we're doing today and see how we might be able to implement some of that, so that might be a way to help to save money. The other thing, and I'll go back to it, this outside funding from state, local, federal, as well as nonprofit agencies that accept grants from counties, especially rural counties, where we can bring new funding into the county. That's number one. Number two, we have a great shopping development that has sort of developed on 131, the 131 corridor over the many years. What we need to do is we need to expand that shopping experience to continue the convenience as well as the sustainability of it, the affordability of the shops that are there. And I say the 131 corridor because I think we need to maintain our main streets, right? We need to maintain the sweet, wonderful atmosphere that we have on our different main streets throughout the county. In fact, we need to grow those businesses so that we can bring more tourism into the county. That is actually my number three way that we can actually bring funding into the county rather than looking at how we cut the budget, right? Let's look at, I don't know, 3% of St. Joseph County is open water access, which means we have rivers, we have lakes that draw people into our county. I can't tell you, I live on the river, how many kayaks I see going by now that summer has opened up, right? We need to look at how we can improve on our small businesses in order to help to draw tourists into St. Joseph County. I think that's.
With decreased discretionary funds available to the county, is it time for local jurisdictions to step up and put money into the roads that the commission has funded for the last couple of years?
Yeah, so we're all in this together, right? We from the single resident, from myself, sitting here in my house, my neighborhood, my township, the multiple townships, our county. We're all in this together. So we all need to look at our budgets. Nobody wants to cut. Nobody wants to increase taxes and fees, but yet we have things we have to get done. There are a lot of smart, innovative people leading not just the county, but each of the townships. So what we need to do is we need to sit down together. We need to prioritize. I mentioned to you earlier about the dams and the bridges and the roads and the buildings. They are in disrepair. Let's prioritize. Let's get those funded, not just by the county, by the townships. Also, again, I will continue to say this over and over. Let's go out and look at what outside money might be available to us, so that just as we don't want to cut programs and departments in the county, I know that those townships don't want to see cuts in their programs and see them.
Well, Kathy, thank you so much for joining me today. I
Well, I want
appreciate
to
that.
thank you too, Christy. I appreciate the opportunity. And I want to just say, everybody, you received in the mail an application for your absentee ballot. Fill it out, send it in, because there's no easier way to vote than to have it come to your mailbox. Fill it out and send it. Thank you, Christy.
Absolutely. And a reminder to the voters that you can do absentee, or the primary will be on August 4th and the general on November 3rd. So get out and vote, make your vote count.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Kathy. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.